Hi, my name is Aline, and this is my response for the recorded discussion Roki and White Ethnics. The first discussion asks how this film qualifies as a cinema white grievance and two examples that Jacobson gives about this. Okay, so the film portrays a reversal of social roles, and Jacobson highlights this by mentioning how Rocky Balboa is a character, an Italian American character, that is socially marginalized since he's poor and his personal failures. And this contrasting with Apollo Creed, which is an African American, wealthy, successful man. Here, there is a clear example of something that wasn't as usual during this time, since it is known that in history, African Americans were always the unprivileged, not the privileged one, which is a new depiction of society, something not as common. One of these examples of how Jacobson argues that it was the intention of the film was to portray Rocky Balboa as a white victim, is how this was framed as a metaphor for the working class experience in the 1970s. This was a time where there was a lot of debates around affirmative cases. Um, Minorities were trying to make changes in society to reduce this unfairness and inequalities. And white ethnic groups felt that this was at the expense of them, that this was actually like kind of discriminating and marginalize them back. Rocky's character channels this sentiment of how, as since he was a white man fighting these struggles, these social disadvantages. The second example is how Apollo Creed is represented as a symbol of success and dominance in the space of boxing. However, this was mostly related to the now during this time during the 1970s, this the sentiment of how white Americans felt that African Americans were now benefiting from all these changes at their expense, as I already mentioned. Now, Jacobson also compares this film with the Bakke versus University of California case. This case is basically about how Alan Bakke, a white applicant of this university, was claiming that he was experiencing reverse discrimination due to the university's priority to minorities when applying to this university. And this is a clear example of this trend of white people uh, basically victimizing themselves due to all these social changes in society, as people were trying to fight for their rights, basically. Jacobson's main argument is that Rocky and its sequels reflect white ethnic backlash during this time of social change, when they were actually just intending to correct these racial imbalances. I I do agree with this. I do agree that white people were mostly victimizing themselves. I think they were struggling to get used to the change, since they've been used to being the privileged ones. They were used to being preferred and not struggling as much as minorities such as African Americans. The film is contributes to the sense of white grievance during this time. And though some can actually interpret this film as just like an example of perseverance. However, putting in context on how it was filmed and produced during the 1970s, I do think that the major intention of the producer, director, whoever made this movie was to highlight this white grievance sentiment during this time. Thank you.